don't forget to bring a towel. The Solana and XRP feud has been going in full motion. Ever since that Western Union deal, it has been unleashed. This guy, Vibhu, I don't know what his real name is, if maybe that's it, I don't know. He works at the Solana Foundation, right? So there's been a lot of guys recently, some genuinely asking the question, other ones probably engagement farming because they know like how potent the XRP people can be, just like the Bitcoin people. That's the thing. I don't treat one or the other like the religion. Yet again, I think there's going to be a handful, and those ones are all kind of serving their different purposes, and that's kind of what I think Solana and XRP is. I just don't think they're going necessarily for the same things, but these guys have been bringing up, some valid points, and I mean, that's what I mean. Like, if they can't bring up valid points, and the opposite, the XRP army, whoever the hell is defending the position, can't at least, like, just entertain the question, then you kind of know better than the Bitcoin people, because this guy was bringing up, he's like, I'm bringing facts. This guy's going, I bring facts, dude. The XRP ledger in terms of like usage and daily usage is nowhere near Solana, let alone a lot of these other chains. And that's a completely valid point, dude. That's a completely valid point. Yet again, I don't think I guess their problem with it is, yet again, a lot of the lower XRP maxi people, they just kind of say crazy shit, and there are a lot of accounts on X. Yet again, I don't know if they're real people or not. I just block them because they're always tweeting like crazy things. Oh, ISO 222 at the new moon, the XRP is gonna do the whole financial system. Those people I group in the same with the Bitcoin maxis. Then there's like the more level-headed people, but he's bringing up valid points about usage and everything. It's like if this is set out to do what it's supposed to do, how come the numbers don't reflect it at all? David Schwartz has been going back with this guy and some other guy. And in my mind, what this whole thing is, yet again, just like David Schwartz kind of said, all crypto at the end of the day, at least at this state in time, is all speculative. Like the price action and why we're buying certain tokens, one is to try to make money, but two is like, it's a bet. Like, I'm holding XRP because I'm betting that it's going to be utilized in some important capacity. In my mind, I'm thinking with Ripple. I'm thinking Ripple's making these acquisitions to inevitably utilize the chain for their business purposes. And yet again, I think the stablecoin and XRP, they go hand in hand as like a tool to help one another. I think the banking license comes into play because I think they want to play ball, obviously, with these big banks, or inevitably be their own, and then they hodl a bunch of that XRP as a tool. I think Chainlink plays a role. Chainlink has been making moves. They've been making a ton of partnerships lately. I got it on this list that we'll get to. Yeah, they did a X Space, and this dude, Zach Rector, I don't know, I'm like kind of whatever about Zach Rector. Nothing against him personally, but he took a screenshot when these guys were doing the space debating, and I saw David Schwartz was in there, and Zach. What this guy needs to do, not that he's going to see this, he's got to get better people defending the position. This Matt and Daniel guy, they were more the technical side of the XRPL, like building on the XRPL, comparing the stats of it to Solana, which is good too, because a lot of people don't even understand the technology, and I don't understand the technology as deeply as these guys. I have like a pretty decent understanding of how things work though. And they needed more people from the side of like on the more realistic speculative end. Yet again, it's all speculative at the end of the day, but from yet again the eyes of like what we kind of think Ripple is moving. And yeah, that's not tangible yet by the numbers on the ledger and how much it's being utilized and shit, but I'm placing the bet of that. That's what my bet is. That's what I think is going on. But this dude's so caught up in the numbers, and someone brought up a great point in the space against him and was essentially saying like, I mean, dude, yeah, you're calling these daily active users and everything, but Solana's built for something completely different, like DeFi, high volume transact. Like, it's not really going after the rails of the institutional flows. Like, granted, yes, Solana can have stable coins and this and that, but just from the fact alone of how much newer it was to the scene, and how many outages and problems it had. Granted, whatever the problems were, obviously they're going to get ironed out over time, but it's like, if these guys want to utilize some chain for moving institutional flows and remittances and like all this big picture shit, I think they're going to go with a more battle-tested piece of hardware that was built for that purpose, dude. That's that's my mind. That's just the bet I'm placing. Doesn't mean Solana is not going to do well. They probably will do well. But in my mind, like, they're just like, I can't understand why XRP... That's the bet. That's what we see. We see the moves they're making. We see XRP and XLMs and other ones. We see their names pop up in a lot of these documents. It seems like they're going to be a handful of them that are winning. I mean, to see DTCC documents and see XRP and XLM's name pop out throughout like the years and shit. Like, it's, yet again, it's not reflected in the usage of the ledger right now. But this whole industry, we have no clue. I'm sure the people in the .com bubble fucking said, whoever, fucking pets.com is going to be around forever, they're this and that. And then look what happens. No one knows what's going to happen in this industry. Yeah, you see them on top right now. We don't even have legislation yet. This market hasn't even begun. I mean, it has, but you get what I'm saying. We are incredibly early to be calling winners. I'll tell you that. Doesn't mean they ain't going to win or XRP going to win. We have no idea. That's the whole point. We're trying to place our bets and look into the future. I know no one can predict the future, unless maybe this guy can, but in my mind, if I can see the future, I see XRP's price continue. XRP, I've done very well with XRP. So even if you're going to sit there and say that the numbers don't reflect it, as an investment, it's been doing good for me. Yeah, but then at a certain point, I couldn't listen to this anymore. It was just, it's so nonsense. There's so many good people he could curate to host like a debate or at least just a conversation and clear up a lot of the bullshit that circulates this whole narrative. That'd be good. Real assets are undefeated. Holding silver, holding Bitcoin. And then Peter Schiff goes, Sydney Sweeney has great. This guy's a mental case, dude. Peter Schiff is a fucking lunatic, bro. I love him though. He's so fun to have in the industry. He's like Jim Cramer in a way. And speaking of Jim Cramer, actually, Jim Cramer tweeted, watch out from, like, we're going to need to wait. Is it this? Very discouraging close. Got to wait until Monday for a bounce. But what a month. We got to wait till Monday for a bounce. There it is, the inverse Cramer trap card. With every inversion, every statement made by Jim Cramer is flipped. So everyone's thinking come Monday, we're going to see like a Black Monday scenario, like crash, panic, blood in the streets. So we got to keep our eyes out. Actually, that's tomorrow, dude. What am I saying? Today's Sunday. I'm getting nervous. This is a big week, dude. Trump basically gave details of the deal with China, and that didn't even like budge the market. Fed's gonna turn on that money printer. They're cutting rates. Ripple's swell is this week. This is a big week. Like if they want to make announcements, which they are obviously, this is gonna be the place to do it, dude. If they were ever gonna drop their balls and say that we got the banking license or coordinate it, it would be there. But I don't think they will until we need clarity. That's what we need. Scott Bessent, 17 years after the white paper, the Bitcoin network is still operational and more resilient than ever. Bitcoin never shuts down. Senate Dems could learn something from that, of course. Yeah, tweeting about Bitcoin, I guess that's good for the whole industry, I guess. Digital asset treasuries have exploded this year. Evernorth XRP CEO Ash Go Blue and David Schwartz join Michael Arrington to talk about what to expect from Evernorth XRP and the rise of digital asset treasuries. Live at Swell, November 4th and 5th. You can bet your ass we're going to have our eyes on Ripple Swell and what's going on over there. So subscribe, like, comment, all that. Stay tuned because this week's going to be crazy, bro. I thought this was an interesting post. You are what they refer to as the useful idiots. Cryptocurrency is the biggest psyop in human history. They knew that people would eventually fear inflation and abandon fiat money, so they created an alternative that would help absorb the capital flight but do nothing to harm the system. That something is crypto. Remember their motto, you'll own nothing and you will be happy. You are literally further engulfing yourself in the matrix. Unplug yourself and become a commodities Chad. All right, I don't agree with that last part, but I do definitely think that's what crypto is they're implementing their agenda, dude, the globalization. You will owe nothing and will be happy. But I do think if we play our cards right, we can make a crap ton of money in this. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to just, run in the woods and try to live off a tree. Bitcoin is going to make me rich. No, Neo. Bitcoin is going to make you free. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. What the hell is this, actually? What the hell is Litecoin saying? Bunch of weirdos. Actually. Oh my God. In reply to the Scott Besson thing, dude, these guys are so irrelevant. It doesn't even make sense how they're getting ETFs. This is some bullish shit. Stellar, a fast layer 1 for institutional grade tokenized assets, has joined the Chainlink Scale program and is adopting data feeds, data streams, and CCIP. Through Chainlink's data and interoperability standards, Stellar delivers its builders the critical infrastructure needed to launch next-generation cross-chain apps that allow Stellar to supercharge DeFi, tokenized assets, and institutional on-chain finance at scale. Stellar and Chainlink, that's what you want to see. This is what you want to see. You want to see this company X this company. Those are the ones that are going to do well. Those are the ones playing ball. They know the game. I've been huge on Stellar too. Although there's a lot of like very valid points that are brought up about a lot of these tokens accruing value. They always point to with Stellar too, the XLM, they burned a ton of the supply or half the supply, something like that. And they still point to like, you need more things to do with your XLM. And that's all very valid points. But yet again, I'm placing my bet that I think these guys are laying the foundation so that when we fast forward 5 to 10 years, I think they do develop more utility. I think they do develop more usefulness, Yet again, we don't have law yet. We're so fucking early. Doesn't mean those points aren't valid, though, when they point to like on-chain data compared to other chains and which ones have way more users and more volume and stuff, But hey, this was so moronic. Stake and Shake. Stake and Shake is announcing the creation of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. All payments received in Bitcoin will be placed in our SBR. We are donating 210 sats from every Bitcoin meal we sell to OpenStats initiative over the next 12 months. They're so fucking stupid. What is this? Make your Bitcoin steak burger a delicious bargain when you purchase and register with Foldat. What the fuck are you talking about? Thank you, Bitcoiners, for helping change the trajectory of Steak and Shake with a same-store sales increase of 15% in our most recent quarter, higher than all of our competitors. Yeah, I doubt that's because of fucking Bitcoin Steak and Shake. I've still never even seen a Steak and Shake. Like, you got to get a McDonald's or something to utilize this. If you want to make headwinds, you need a behemoth. That Wendy's maybe, but McDonald's would be the move. That would get eyeballs on that. In recent weeks, I feel like the conversation has definitely been heating up surrounding all these entities having their private stablecoins and the banks all having their private stablecoins, because then that really creates, like, you need the interoperability. You need the way for all these things to communicate and bridge together, essentially. And, a lot of people point to XRP, a lot of people point to Chainlink. The thing is, I don't think we actually have the solution yet. I don't think we have it yet. Like, Chainlink, people say solve this, but then the more I dig into it, it's like there are still certain problems that arise with it that cannot be fulfilled by Chainlink, apparently, as of the stuff I'm reading, as much as people want to say definitively. And then, yet again, like, you can point to XRP being used in some use cases. That could work, but then it doesn't work necessarily for other cases. I think the issue surrounding the banks specifically, each having their own stablecoin, I think that somehow plays into, if Ripple became a bank, I see all the pieces coming together. I really think them becoming a bank unlocks a whole different realm of possibilities and street cred. But street cred that would actually translate into making moves. We have overdone it as an industry, haven't we? Why does every company or app need its own stablecoin when it can just tap into the existing ones with liquidity and pay in, pay out options already available? This nonsense just adds more friction to the whole ecosystem and confuses the end users even further. This is still an industry that's not built for mass adoption. We have a long way to go. Okay, so yet again, like I was just saying, it does add a lot more friction, and then it creates a problem that needs to be addressed and solved for kind of mass adoption to take place. Yeah, I think for the time being, hence why we got Schwab and the big guys coming in that are going to allow crypto trading. I think just for that front, I think they just want that money to stop flowing. But there's still a couple of core problems that obviously need to be addressed like that. Don't know if Chainlink is the sole answer. Don't know if XRP is the sole answer. I don't. What I kind of can see happening, unfortunately, is because you see the banking cartel fighting tooth and nail for the Clarity Act because they don't want stablecoins to be able to accrue interest. What I maybe could see happening is, like a lot of these banks using their private stablecoin, and then those banks maybe could go together and form an alliance with each other, but then that also, there's just so much complicated. It's so complicated. If people try to act like this is a done deal, man, makes your head hurt trying to fucking comprehend all this. Breaking: the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals has ruled in the Custodia Bank versus Federal Reserve case. In a 2-1 decision, the court sided with the Fed, rejecting Custodia's bid to compel the central bank to grant it a master account. So apparently, Custodia Bank is apparently ran, or someone named Caitlin Long, I believe her name is. She's one of like the heads or something, talking mouth for Custodia Bank. They applied for wanting a master account, and then I guess after, when Ripple applied for one, she was out there on podcasts talking shit, basically like, oh, they shouldn't get one, this and that, fuck them, it's a scam all this bullshit. And so they just got denied. So if Ripple gets it, I could see this lady losing her mind, man. Yet again, Ripple swell. Insane lineup. Yeah, so Trump has apparently not officially signed the deal with China. But yeah, I think until pen hits paper, I don't think we're going to really see anything come of that. Nobody has been more transparent than Ripple. Nobody. Carlos Domingo, CEO of Securitize, on which industries can and will benefit from tokenization. Let's hear it.
You're more accessible, obviously pending the regulatory, framework, makes it easier to consume for retail people. Like, large investors, they have armies of people that they can deal with inefficiencies in markets that retail people don't have. So I think it's a great equalizer for accessing financial services products.
So if this is about the rails and about changing the rails, getting things that are not tokenized, so then they're more easily accessible, things are faster, things settle more quickly, who ends up losing out here?
That's a very good question. I think the incumbents, right, the intermediaries that sit in between those transactions.
Who are they?
Clearinghouses, central securities depositories, transfer agents we need to modernize. So transfer agents, I think they'll still be there, but in a modern version of them. Distributors like wealth management.
Give us some names.
He doesn't want to.
I just want you to.
We need to know. Just fucking say it.
Where do people not want to be?
I think one of the things that probably disappears is the clearinghouses, right? Because the blockchain settles the trades, and the blockchain
get them the fuck out of there, dude. These middlemen,
and therefore you
annoying ass middlemen
to settle trades.
Are we just going to hear the clearinghouses at some point say that they're going to tokenize whatever's in their inventory as well?
Well, they are already saying, but that actually doesn't change anything, right? Because tokenization is about changing the market structure to limit intermediaries. So if the existing intermediaries are just stay there as intermediaries, but tokenizing something, it doesn't really, create any improvements to the market structure.
Do most people not even notice? Let's say we get to that world where everything is tokenized. Will the end user not even notice?
That's literally what we were just kind of reading about from that guy. No, like that's in the end game. The average person is not gonna fucking know any of this is going on. The average person doesn't even know any of this is going on now.
That's a very good question. So I think that tokenization or tokenized finance eventually will become
how a good product should work.
Internet companies are just companies today, right? So I think blockchain.
Does anyone truly know how the internet works? Like Amazon Web Services went down the other day, and none of it worked. Like people didn't even have a clue Amazon Web Services was a thing. They're like, I thought Amazon delivers me my tampons.
At some point,
no.
When they are integrated on the endpoints of consumers, will just disappear behind the scenes as another infrastructure. They're the same with our internet. Back in the days, you might remember you had to dial up and have a modem and all that stuff. And today, everything is connected to the internet and it's transparent.
Plug it in and go.
So I do think blockchains will eventually become completely transparent.
That's what the banks don't want, though. That's what the banks are fighting tooth and nail for. You got Larry Fink out there. Everything will be tokenized. Then the question becomes, what ledgers and what tokens are going to benefit and be kind of, involved in the tokenization of everything? There's a significant tie between Securitize and Ripple, and here are the key details. What the partnership covers. Ripple's enterprise-grade stablecoin RLUSD has been integrated into Securitize's tokenization platform infrastructure. This allows holders of tokenized funds such as BlackRock and VanEck V-Bill, both issued by Securitize's platform, to swap or redeem their shares into RLUSD, effectively providing a 24/7 stablecoin off-ramp. The smart contract mechanism enabling this has been described as real-time settlement and programmable liquidity across a new class of compliant on-chain investment products. And I'm almost positive Securitize has backing from BlackRock and Morgan Stanley. So, I mean, come on. You think BlackRock isn't aware, at least, of what Ripple or the XRP ledger is? Yet again, doesn't mean it's being used, because, yet again, that dude likes to point to the ledger, the activity on the ledger now. Okay, that's now. Hopefully we're right on target. Hopefully. Sam Altman and Elon Musk were going at it again on Twitter, because I guess Sam Altman ordered the Roadster and then wanted to cancel it, and then he goes, "You stole a nonprofit, yo." And then this guy, because they kept going back and forth, dude. Oh man. That's accurate. It is accurate, though. These guys are fucking mental cases. Dude, I'm telling you, Sam Altman. I mean, I get bad vibes from Elon, too. Like, you could tell he's kind of he's a scumbag. But, dude, when Tucker was interviewing Sam Altman and brought up the OpenAI whistleblower, who, I don't know, he offed himself. But then they just, no, we're not going to do an investigation. And they went in, and there's like blood in multiple rooms. The guy just ordered DoorDash before offing himself. Literally none of it added up whatsoever. It looked like a murder. And Tucker blatantly says that to him. And Sam's like, his response is just so wild. It's so wild. I suggest you watch it. Yeah, dude, Chainlink's making moves. I got to look more into Chainlink. Like what is the actual investment opportunity they're looking like? Like what accrues... What has the token accrue value, you know? I just got to learn a little bit more about all that stuff. I've always seen them making moves, though. That's the $1 million. It's more than $1 million, but that's the problem to solve, dude. The interoperability problem. If you solve that, all that money's got to go through you, more or less, in my mind. But guys, I'm going to head this party over on into the Patreon. We got more stories to cover. This guy's like going off on the conspiracy theory about XRP, the mark of the beast, the conspiracy, the president, Armageddon, all this crazy shit, Federal Reserve. I'm going to take this onto the Patreon. We got Jack Dorsey talking about Bitcoin. He's going to beat everything, MasterCard, everything that we got, the eerie comparisons. Oh, man. If you want to join the Minutemen, that's the name of the group. You could join that by hitting the link in the description. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications. I appreciate the support. I will see you in the next one, and I will see you over on the Patreon right now.